Hello and welcome back to our Catechism series. We are now on the seventh petition of the Lord's Prayer. And the seventh petition is pretty straightforward. But deliver us from evil. What does this mean? In conclusion, we pray in this petition that our Father in heaven would deliver us from every evil that threatens body and soul, property and reputation. And finally, when our last hour comes, grant us a blessed end and graciously take us from this world of sorrow to himself in heaven. The word but there means that it closely follows on the heels of the sixth petition. So lead us not into temptation, but instead do this other thing, that's deliver us from every evil. So these evils around us, these temptations, Lord, lead us away from these, deliver us from these. But ultimately, the deliverance is going to be seen when we leave this world. So in part, yes, God can help you out now, and he does help us out now. But with the seventh petition, really, we're praying for us to go to heaven. Lord, bring me out of this broken world. So our chosen verse to focus on for this is from Revelation chapter 21. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, because the first heaven, the first earth had passed away, and the sea no longer existed. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And from the throne I heard a loud voice that said, "Look, God's dwelling is with the people. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with them, and he will be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or sorrow, or crying, or pain, because the former things have passed away." And with the book of Revelation, there's a lot of word pictures, illustrations, symbolic language in here. No longer any sea. The sea was separating John from his fellow believers, and believers no longer being separate. And the new Jerusalem coming out of heaven, well, we're going to be the new Jerusalem, not a city itself, but the people of God. That's really what Jerusalem is. Beautifully adorned for her husband. The church is sometimes called the bride of Christ. But the big thing to take away is the promise that in the next life, the new heaven, the new earth, the afterlife, sometimes we say in heaven, being with God, God being with us, that the life as we know it now, all the troubles, the sorrow, the pain, the struggles, and finally death itself, those things will not be part of the next life. And Jesus Christ has won the victory over sin, death, and the devil. And our ultimate hope is, Lord, bring me out of this world. And then come back, Jesus return, press that reset button, give me Garden of Eden 2.0, and then put me back down in this new world where I'm never going to have to deal with sin again. And because there's no sin, there won't be any struggles or pain or sorrow. And because there's no sin and struggles and pain and sorrow, there will be no more death. And so when we say, Lord, deliver me from evil, yes, this is the ultimate deliverance. When evil is put away with, locked away, gone, done for good. And we look forward to that day. That's the seventh petition. So the answer for the question then is, how does God ultimately deliver us from evil? He can deliver us right now from the smaller troubles we face, absolutely, and we certainly have prayer requests for that. But the best way that God delivers us from evil is to bring our lives to a close, take us to himself in heaven, and then finally, when that last day comes, bring us with all the church, all believers, the whole new Jerusalem together before him, and he with us in, you could say, the new Eden. And that's the seventh petition. Thanks again for tuning in, and God's best blessings. Until next time, take care.